तू दयालु दीन हो, तू दानी हो भिकारी। तू दयालु दीन हो, तू दानी हो भिकारी। हो प्रसिद्ध पात की, हो प्रसिद्ध पात की, तू पाप पुंजहारी। तू दयालु दीन हो, तू दानी हो भिकारी। नाथ तू अनाथ को, अनाथ कौन मोसो। नाथ तू अनाथ को, अनाथ कौन मोसो। मोह समान आरत नहीं, मोह समान आरत नहीं। आरती हर तो सो, आरती हर तो सो। तू दयालु दीन हो, तू दानी हो भिकारी। ब्रह्म तू हो, जीव तू ठाकुर हो चेरो। ब्रह्म तू हो, जीव तू ठाकुर हो चेरो। तात मात गुरु सखा तू, तात मात गुरु सखा तू। सब विधि तू मेरो, सब विधि तू मेरो। तो ही मोहि नाते अनेक, मानिए जो भावे। तो ही मोहि नाते अनेक, मानिए जो भावे। जो त्यों तुलसी कृपाल, जो त्यों तुलसी कृपाल। चरण शरण पावे, चरण शरण पावे। तू दयालु दीन हो, तू दानी हो भिकारी। तू दयालु दीन हो।
तव कथामृतं तप्तजीवनं कविभिरीडितं कल्मषापहम् श्रवणमङ्गलं श्रीमदाततं भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जना. The nectar of thy words revives the scorched spirit of human beings. They purify the sinner and are the life of the holy. To hear them itself is auspicious and peace generating. They are the real givers who spread thy name far and wide. Oh. Welcome to the gospel class today, and it's from Ramakrishna Vedanta Ashram, Pittsburgh. So we have live audience, and also uh, there are people online in Toronto or other parts of Canada. Welcome to the class. And today's gospel, where we left last time, was continuing Master's injured arm, the Master and his injured arm. Page 390. Uh, this was recorded, the date is February 2, 1884. And now, after that, so here in the it comes here at noon the following day, that is February 3, 1884, and it was a Sunday. And Sri Ramakrishna says about himself, about his own quality of simplicity, of childlike nature. So beautifully he recounts some of his incidents. At noon the following day, that is February 3, 1884, after his midday meal, Sri Ramakrishna was sitting on the small couch when Ram, Surendra, and a few other devotees arrived from Calcutta. They were worried about the master's injured arm. The arm was bandaged. Yam was present. And Yam was also there. He didn't mention about him. But all the recordings that he does, mostly it is when Yam was present. When M was not present and that is recorded, he put those in the appendix. He heard from someone. And here, because it was a Sunday and after midday meal, all the devotees of Sri Ramakrishna like Ram, Surendra, all they loved Sri Ramakrishna and held Sri Ramakrishna in very high esteem. Already they knew that Ram was proclaiming that Sri Ramakrishna is incarnation of God. And Girish Ghosh, like he was also saying that, and it was proved by Bhairavi Brahmani. And some were great admirers like Surendra. One of the reasons why they loved Sri Ramakrishna so much, some had very insightful thinking, and some others' life was changed by coming in touch with Sri Ramakrishna. Like we know about the Girish Ghosh, what was his life before he came in touch with Sri Ramakrishna. And after that, his life was totally changed. He became so devoted, so purified gradually in all his dealings with the world. He was too much given to the enjoyment of the world and was very egoistic and was talented, no doubt, but there were so many things. Coming in touch with Sri Ramakrishna, by the influence of Sri Ramakrishna, he had given up all the vices of his life and he had become a real devotee of God. And when such transformation comes in a person, then they know it was not an ordinary person. He must be divine being, some very great person, some great guru. And they said, it is not human being. Humanly, it's not possible to change me. Girish goes to say, wherever I sit, the 7 cubits below becomes impure. Like that was his saying about himself. And how changed was his life. So they all said Sri Ramakrishna, they all knew and proclaimed that Sri Ramakrishna is the incarnation of God. So much of faith in Sri Ramakrishna. It is very difficult to recognize an incarnation of God. So in the gospel itself, we have read that to Rama, only 12 rishis said that he was incarnation of God. But other great rishis and munis, they said you are the son of Dasaratha. You are a great king. You are lover of mankind. You are just in everything. Um, but to proclaim that he is incarnation of God, not that everyone can recognize. And here, Ram, who was a professor in the medical college, Calcutta Medical College, professor of chemistry, he used to say Sri Ramakrishna is none other than God's own incarnation. So they had come on this day and were worried for Sri Ramakrishna's arm that was broken. Now, Master, to the devotees, Sri Ramakrishna has so much fun, so much of you know things to say, and always his words were so sweet and always inspiring to do something. And never there was dearth of any word that he would relate on his own life, or from the scriptures, or from some other incident that had heard. But he knew that whatever is spoken would have impact on the life of the listeners. And I think Sri Ramakrishna was aware that Yam was recording, and that will be good for humanity, whatever his teachings is. And Sri Ramakrishna was also aware that what he speaks is not he speaking out of his ego, or that I have to give message to the world for coming generations, or the for world to change. It will be a big spiritual message. But what he said is, I only do as Divine Mother makes me do. Whatever she makes me speak, I speak only that. And totally surrendered to the Divine Mother, Mother Kali. So he used to always follow that. And that's why his words spoken without any trace of ego, and with all inspiration from the divine being, divine mother, are so powerful and so sweet to hear. That's why in the very Mangalacharana it is said, your words are, they revive the scorched spirit of the human beings, where the human beings serve. The song was so nice that Hari Bhai sang, that you are the one who removes all our afflictions, and I am afflicted. Who will do remove my affliction other than you, O Lord? So that's how God is. God knows our problems in life, and our suffering, and He is there to remove our suffering. Sometimes He has to come Himself, and there is a greater need for establishing, re-establishing the dharma. Sometimes whatever He had taught, that becomes a tool to give light to the people who can follow. So here Sri Ramakrishna's words are that powerful, that sweet, that go directly to the heart. He spoke in the language of the common man. That was another one great benefit from Sri Ramakrishna we get. He spoke in Bengali, the vernacular of the people where he lived. So it became very easy to understand. And those have been translated now in many languages, the teachings, including Sanskrit. We have also Sanskrit Kathamrita, and there are English, of course. We know Swami Nikhilananda's wonderful translation of Kathamrita that people of the West can really understand in the beautiful language. So let us go to what Sri Ramakrishna is conversing. Master to the devotees, the mother has put me in such a state of mind that I cannot hide anything from anyone. Mine is the condition of a mind of a child. Rakhal doesn't understand it. He covers my injured arm, wrapping my body with a cloth, lest others should see my injury and criticize me. He took Dr. Madhu aside and reported my illness. But I shouted and said, Hello, where are you, Madhusudan? Come and see, my arm is broken. So simple. That's how Sri Ramakrishna, how he can study himself. We very much, we don't study ourselves, our life. When you can see like the third person to our own life, that is the greatness of a such person. That what are my good qualities, or what are my peculiarities, and doesn't shy to share that whatever his peculiarities, you can say, to others, seeing himself as third person. That how he says that he behaves that way, but always aware how he is behaving, and he relates that how he behaves with other people. And he says, "Mother kept me in childlike behavior." We are talking about Swami Subodhananda, how he was called Khoka Maharaj, the baby Maharaj. And he not only he was called, he himself thought he was like a young, like not a mature person, like a boy, so simple in behavior. And all his brother monks, they called him Khoka and treated him like Khoka. Even Swami Vivekananda treated Subodhananda as a young boy. He was grown up. Once, and other brother disciples didn't approach Swami Vivekananda when Swami Vivekananda was doing something. Only it was only to Khoka Maharaj who could approach him. He was seriously studying something, and all others, his closest brother disciples, like Swami Brahmananda, Swami Premananda, they were just, his personality was so high, just were scared to approach and say something that may disturb him. But when there was food time and Swamiji was not coming, he was studying something with full attention. He used to merge in what he used to do. And they would say, Khoka, can you go and call him that food is ready, it's dinner time? So Khoka went there, and Swamiji was reading the thing. He tells Swamiji, Swamiji couldn't hear, he was so focused. Then Khoka went from the back and closed Swamiji book. Swamiji was so strong personality he had. So he looked back. Who could do that? That to Swami Vivekananda. And he said, Khoka, Khoka, what did you do? I was reading somewhere and you closed my book. How do I find where I was reading? Then Khoka Maharaj, though he was childlike, said, I may be Khoka, but I'm not that fool. I've already seen which page you are reading. He was that wise, Khoka Maharaj. So like that, his own Sri Ramakrishna disciple, Khoka Maharaj. Like that was Sri Ramakrishna himself. And he's saying that when others wanted to hide, how Rakhal wanted to hide his injury, not to say he fell down and injured his arm. So he said to Dr. Madhusudan, he used to come. And he said, oh, you can come. And he was whispering and said, he had arm, what the condition. He said, why to hide this? He said, Madhusudan, come. I have broken my arm. Come and see. For everyone to hear like that. He himself said he understands everything. Sri Ramakrishna, childlike, but how intelligent he is. He understands everyone's why he is acting in that way. Not that naive and childish he was, but he was very sharp, very intelligent, and so simple. The simplicity and intelligence and wisdom and can exist together. In fact, they are the thing, they coexist. One very wise person has to be very simple. Otherwise, we often say wise, smart, and they manipulate the things. How can they make their things go? And that is so smart and wise, we say. But wisdom or intelligence and simplicity, that they can go together, and they should go together. We read in the life of Sri Ramakrishna. Sri Ramakrishna was so simple, childlike. Other than his own spiritual power, why people attracted to him was his behavior. Because he was so simple, he could relate with everyone. He could be friendly with everyone of all age, from a small child to the old person, from an illiterate person like Jinu Shakhari and Rashik Mehtar to very wisdom professors like Vidyasagar. To everyone, rich and poor, all could find that here is a person that they could love. Why? Because of not only because of his wisdom and purity and his divine aura, but because of his simple nature. Oh, so simple he was. That is the new incarnation, so simple. In fact, all incarnations are simple, but we don't find examples of simplicity that much. When you read about Krishna, he seems to be very wise and manipulating and kingmaker and giving all the advices where is needed. But their lives are very simple. Whenever something was needed, Draupadi used to rush to Sri Krishna. And because he was simple, he always came to her help, always. Once Bhishma said, now I take the vow that I will finish Pandavas tomorrow. I'll eliminate. Now, when Bhishma says that, it's difficult. Now gone. Now somehow they heard, and Draupadi came to Krishna. That is the vow. Now we all are finished. Because Bhishma was such a person that whatever he said, he would do. Bhishma Pratigya, you know that. So this then done. War is done. We all are done. So Draupadi comes to Krishna. Krishna said, "Don't worry. Let us go. You dress in a some village woman and just try to go to Bhishma." He was in the camp, in the fight, in the battle. And when he saw one lady, village lady, come there and very sad, and says, she greeted him, she showed the respect, and Bhishma said, "Saubhagyavati bhava." May you have your Saubhagya means you have your you need not meet your widowhood ever, like that Saubhagyavati bhava. Then he said, then he opened herself and said, Pitama, grandsire, I am Draupadi. And you said that all the Pandavas will die. How can I be Saubhagyavati? But what you said has to be kept. Oh, you came in disguise of that, and they allowed you to come to me. Now I have given you words. Now, for previous word was there. This became more powerful word. Then he said, "How did you do all this dress up and makeup, and how did you come here? There must be someone behind. Bring that here." Krishna was hiding. Bhishma knew all this wisdom for this had to be Krishna. Without Krishna, Pandavas cannot win any first day battle even. Everywhere it was Krishna's help that Pandavas won. And Krishna came then and showed. So I can understand it your help. So I will your Draupadi will be Saubhagyavati. So he got up from that thing what he said earlier that he had said in no, he does not wish to kill Pandavas, but he was in some compulsion he had to say that. So like that, Krishna was so wise and was always helpful, but so simple. Whenever Draupadi said, "What do I do need Krishna, Krishna," and he was ready. Whether it is Durvasa was angry in the forest, or there was a problem with her respect in the court when all were there. Krishna came and always rescued her. His simplicity and his help to the devotees. As he said, Ananyas chintayanto mam ejana bhakti pariyupasate tesham nitya vyuktanam yogakshemam vahamyam. Whatever my devotees need, I provide them. But just they have to be ananya bhakti. They have to be devoted to me. They have to be total faith in me, and I provide that. That is the Krishna incarnation. But here, Ramakrishna incarnation, so simple, like a child, so dear, so sweet is his life. So here he says, and he understands that. This he said, "Mother has kept me so simple." And see the examples of his simplicity. How people he understood his simple and how people saw him as an innocent baby, grown up Sri Ramakrishna. I used to sleep in the same room with Mathur and his wife. They took care of me as if I were their own child. I was then passing through a state of divine madness. The husband and wife are sleeping, and Sri Ramakrishna was asked to sit in their room, share their room, and he was sleeping in their room. Unless and because they felt him as their child. That was the level of love for Sri Ramakrishna. Vatsalya Bhava we read like God is treated as children, and we say that Vatsalya Bhava is showed as love for Krishna. But here's another example of Vatsalya Bhava. This Mathur and his wife love Sri Ramakrishna as their child, not often much known, but exactly that way. And Sri Ramakrishna was in different mood. He needed care. Someone to care always, and said, "Stay in our room," and he stayed there. So he knows that how special was that. Unless one was just like a child, how can they do that? And listen this. Mathur would ask me, "Father, do you hear our conversation?" Husband and wife talking, might be quarreling, might be what that. And Sri Ramakrishna said, "Yes," I would reply. "Yes, I hear whatever you talk." Not that, "Oh, maybe what you talk," not like that. I don't pay attention, not like that. "Yes, I hear what you talk." So everything, everything you not hide, that also you would not hide. So simple. And this he's saying, "Yes, I hear what you talk," was so sweet. If you had said made some words, "Oh, I don't care what you talk," But he's saying, yes, I hear what you say. What made more endearing answer was this. So truthful, so guileless was Sri Ramakrishna. Another incident. Once, Mathur's wife became suspicious of his movements and said to him, if you go anywhere, he, that is Sri Ramakrishna, must accompany you. One day, Mathur went to a certain place and asked me to wait downstairs. He returned after half an hour and said to me, come, father, let us go now. The carriage is waiting. And when Mathur's wife asked me about it, I reported the thing correctly. Perhaps he said that Mathur said that don't say, father, that where I had come, that I had to wait and all that. But he went there and said everything to his wife and said that Mathur has said not to tell you anything. So that also he said. How difficult for the Mathur, you see. And then what happens? When Mathur's wife asked me about it, I reported the thing correctly. I said to her, we went to a certain house. He told me to stay downstairs and himself went upstairs. He came down after half an hour and we left the place. Of course, she understood the thing in her own way. So Sri Ramakrishna knows everything. It's not that he doesn't know. He knows everything, and his simplicity is so much. He doesn't think what will be damaging. There will be fight. There will be angry. Nothing like that. So everything he will tell in detail what has happened. He is telling about his own simplicity. To what level was the simplicity of Sri Ramakrishna? His childlike nature. But Sri Ramakrishna himself had studied his own nature, his own simplicity. That's why Sri Ramakrishna used to say, unless one is simple and guileless, one cannot realize God. So he used to say about Niranjan, he's so guileless, he will realize God. So all his people were like that, so simple. Even Swami Vivekananda was simple. He was very wise organizer and all that, but he was so simple and very large motherly heart as Sri Ramakrishna, as Swami Vivekananda. We know about the motherly love of Holy Mother. Definitely, her whole world was her child. Everyone in the world. Sri Ramakrishna love for everyone like mother. But we often don't know about Swami Vivekananda, always Vedantist and upbraiding the people with the message of Vedanta and doing for founding the great Ramakrishna mission and transforming the life of whoever came in touch from kings and celebrities and guiding them. That we know about Swami Vivekananda. But Swami Vivekananda had motherly heart, very much like Sri Ramakrishna and Holy Mother. There's a one talk about that Swami Shiva Pradhananda gave in Birur Math, and it is Swami Vivekananda's motherly heart. So that beautiful talk, how loving Swami Vivekananda was. His heart was so large. That's what he said, no, to Hari Bhai, in fact, Swami Turiyananda, not our Hari Bhai, but our Hari Bhai is also like Swami Turiyananda. I mean, Hari Bhai is also like, very Vedantist. And the song he sang is so devotional and he is also very deep into Vedanta. So Hari Bhai are saying. So that Hari Bhai Swami Turiyananda he met in Abu Road station, and he said to Hari Bhai, embraced him, and he said, Hari Bhai, I don't know anything about your religion, but my heart has become large and it has learned to feel for the people really. I don't know anything about any other thing about religion, where religion, anything may happen. That feeling for others, that love for all. Swami Vivekananda had tremendous love for everyone. In fact, if you analyze these three personalities, Sri Ramakrishna, Holy Mother, and Swami Vivekananda, so many things in common. Holy Mother lived a simple household life, but she lived Vedanta. She lived oneness. Sri Ramakrishna had so much of bhakti, but she lived all knowledge. He lived all knowledge. So, Swami Vivekananda, Vedanta and organizing and inspiring, and he had such a wonderful motherly heart. That's why in Ramakrishna order we say that three are one. One personality appearing as three, and one of them contains all three. So three in one and one in three. That's how we see this holy trio. Another incident. A partner of Mathur's estate, so Sri Ramakrishna is saying, a partner of Mathur's estate used to take fruits and vegetables stealthily from the temple garden. When the other partners asked me about it, I told them the exact truth. Nothing hiding. Yes, so he comes and he plugs the things, fruits and the vegetables. And others may angry, he may angry, his partner of Mathur's estate, doesn't matter. Truth is truth. For Sri Ramakrishna, nothing could go beyond truth. For him, truth is everything. That person can be so truthful only when one is simple. One is not afraid of saying the truth. One has no other calculation. Otherwise, being truthful in everything, it's very difficult. It's extremely difficult to be that truthful. One has to be very simple. One has to be fearless. One has to be non-calculating, no fear for the future, what will happen, nothing there. Only then one can be truthful. When one is truthful, all other qualities will come if one can be truthful. Fearlessness, simplicity, and love for all, that will come when one is simple. That we find in the life of Sri Ramakrishna. So often Sri Ramakrishna said, one who is truthful, so for them, the one who is truthful, he is lying on the lap of God. So he's already with God. Just by being truthful, he's already in the ultimate truth. He's lying in the lap of God, sitting on the lap of God. That Sri Ramakrishna said. And that was Sri Ramakrishna's his own life. Sunday, February 24, 1884. M comes so less. You see, this gospel is such a big, thick book, a recording of about from 1882 to 1886, about 5 years. But how least frequently he comes now after 3 weeks. Earlier was February 3, now it's February 24. It was again a Sunday. Sri Ramakrishna was resting in his room after his midday meal, and Mani Mallik was sitting on the floor beside him. When Yem arrived, Yem saluted the master and sat down beside Mani. The master's injured arm was bandaged. Master to Yem, how did you come? Yem, I came as far as Alam Bazar in a carriage, and from there I walked. Manilal, oh, he is so hard. Master with a smile. This makes me think that all these are not mere fancies of my brain. Otherwise, why should these Englishmen take so much trouble to come here? So that was what Sri Ramakrishna had seen, that he was going to preach unto mankind the divine message. And he used to judge that he saw in visions that someone came from him and said, I am the incarnation of God that comes from age to age. This time also I have come, and it is the full manifestation of the divinity that he saw. And then after seeing this vision, he thinks that is it true or is it the fancy of my mind? Always that was there in Sri Ramakrishna. Everything has to be true, not that something just came. And now he tallies that if this was not the real purpose of the divine, if there is no divine power in me that is speaking or that is working, that is living, then why people come taking so much trouble? And he said Englishmen within the inverted comma. And that Englishman means those who were educated in English manner. So those people loving Sri Ramakrishna, an illiterate person, uneducated in that sense of the worldly sense, and living from the village, talking in village language, and so simple. And people take all the trouble to come to him to listen to the things. And Sri Ramakrishna must mark that how they were listening to the words, and particularly Yam would be just he will just intaking the thing, just galloping the thing that what gulping the thing that was Ram in that our language. Not gilefils, what I said. So through the eyes and ears, because he had to write the thing. Sri Ram, he had to be very, very attentive when Sri Ramakrishna spoke. one word that Sri Ramakrishna spoke should not escape. That was his thing. And Sri Ramakrishna noticed all that. And that says how this educated, English educated person takes so much trouble to come here. From Alam Bazaar to Dakshineshwar is quite far. And it was February though, it was winter time. But sometimes in February, 24 means end of February, it becomes hot. And when you walk in the sun, and there is February, only December 15 to January 15 is winter time in Kolkata. Other than it's no winter, no cold. Then February 24 becomes warm. It's March approaching, and it was already hot, it seems. And he's hot. He said his body must have been heated. Walking from Alam Bazaar to Dakshineshwar, it's quite far for walking. So, but people took all the trouble to come to Sri Ramakrishna. Yam was afraid of taking boat. Others, sometimes people would take the boat, but somehow Yam was scared to take boat. He didn't know swimming, and he was not really very comfortable in taking boat. So he used to say, "I go walk, you go by boat." So when someone wanted to go by boat, that was Yam's own way of going. And he would not spend money like that in a carriage and for own comfort. Rather, he would donate that money for some people, some holy person, maybe for Sri Ramakrishna, buying things for Sri Ramakrishna like that was his habit. And how much was the money, salary of a teacher, of a headmaster? He was the headmaster. Very little money that time the teachers and the school teachers got that time. So he used to walk, come in the shared carriage, perhaps up to Alam Bazaar, and from there he walked to Dakshineshwar. Sri Ramakrishna began to talk to them about his health and his injured arm. Master, now and then I become impatient about my arm. I show it to this or that man and ask him whether I shall get well again. That makes Rakhal angry. He doesn't understand my mood. Now and then I say to myself, let him go away. Again I say to the mother, Mother, where will he go? Why should he burn himself in the frying pan of the world? So Rakhal used to be sometimes he used to be a little jealous during his time of other people, those who loved Sri Ramakrishna. Sometimes he would not understand Sri Ramakrishna and would say, would become angry on Sri Ramakrishna exposing himself like he was a jamindar's son, landlord's son. So he had some etiquette. Don't expose your weakness or your suffering, hide those, and so only the face that is good and health. Don't talk about your illness. That was the custom. No, we have the custom here also. When we are sick, we don't want to say to anyone, I'm sick. We don't want to say. So that was the custom there also. And why he is saying that? And Sri Ram, he doesn't understand my mood. Sri Ramakrishna knows everything. He doesn't understand my mood. And Sri Ramakrishna said it is a mood that wants to speak, that doesn't want to hide anything about oneself. And that's what it is. And how Narendranath once came and he had no job. And then Sri Ramakrishna said, you see, Naren, he's not getting job. Can you find something for him? Yeah. Naren also got annoyed. Why you have to say everywhere that I have no job and someone has got a job for me? So Naren also didn't like. Then Sri Ramakrishna's answer was, oh Naren, for you asking for a job to some devotees coming here, that is nothing. I wish I could go house to house for you to have a job. That was his love for Naren. And how will they understand how much this love is there? That's why, if anything could help Naren to get a job and to help his family, that was Sri Ramakrishna's love. And he's a little disturbed with Rakhal and says, let him go sometime. That also he doesn't hide what he thought. And he's saying that, you see, about Rakhal, this is going to go to Rakhal. Rakhal will know this ultimately, but nothing to hide. And later I say, Mother, please don't take him away. Where will you go in the frying pan of the world? What? Sri Ramakrishna never faced the world. He was always in divine mood. From very, very childhood, always in God. But how much he understood the suffering of the worldly people, suffering of the world. He used to say, world is a whirlpool. How will be saved? It will drown you. And to be saved, you have to have some technique to save from yourself. And there are so much like six alligators are there to save from it. You have to prepare yourself, smear the turmeric, and alligators will not eat. Know some techniques to save yourself from the whirlpool. And what is the turmeric and what is the technique to save yourself from this world which is so difficult to get over, to tackle with? So that is the love of God. And he said, have the love of God, have faith in Him, have trust in Him, full faith in God, and nothing will make you worry because you will know that God is there to my help. My mother said, when you are in trouble, just say to yourself, I have a mother. Have trust in me, my child. I am always there with you. Only what lacks is your trust, your faith in me. When you have faith in me, like Krishna rushed whenever Draupadi remembered him, like that, I am always to your help. Just remember that I am there. All these worries and anxieties will go and help will come. Help will come, no doubt. But your insecurity, your lack of faith, that doesn't let the help come. Help comes and you don't understand and you suffer. And when you remember mother, then you understand. She is there to protect me. Ma achen arami achi bhavna ki ache amar. Mother is there. I am there. What do I worry for anything? Like that thing comes when you remember God. Like that was Sri Ramakrishna saying. Um, and he said, where you will go in this world. So his love for Rakhal was as one father loves his son. And Sri Ramakrishna used to say, my love for my disciples is much more than parents' love for their children. That's Sri Ramakrishna used to say. And truly so. How much you used to think? Rakhal had gone to Vrindavan and he became sick. And anybody coming used to say, oh, Rakhal had gone to Vrindavan, he fell sick, what to do, what do you suggest, like that. What they have to do, Rakhal had gone and was doing that. But he is here like a mother always thinking about her son who has gone far away and is sick. Sri Ramakrishna is always worried for Rakhal's health. That was his love. So that is how the thing goes. Now, mothers also get worried for their children. Sri Ramakrishna, divine person, spiritual person, he also gets worried. Yes, he also gets worried. But this love is so pure. This worry is just for the time being. He gets worried whenever he thinks of Rakhal. Otherwise, always thought in the divine mother. Ours is that we cannot take mind away from the things of the worries. Even when we try to be with God in meditation or thinking of God, our mind is always about someone that makes me worry. That is our condition. For Sri Ramakrishna, for the time being, when he thinks of Rakhal, he is worried. Otherwise, mind always soaring to the divine, always with mother. So that is the difference between us and Sri Ramakrishna. Sri Ramakrishna is totally surrendered to hold to the divine mother and knows that divine mother will take care of all his disciples. So that was Sri Ramakrishna, worry for Rakhal. This childlike impatience of mine is nothing new. I used to ask Mathur Babu to feel my pulse and tell me whether I was ill. So that is also whether he is ill or not, he doesn't know. Can you check my pulse? And he himself is reminiscing all these things that he did, which was very simple act. Whether I was ill or not, can you tell me by touching by testing my, counting my pulse beat, like that, feeling my pulse beat? That's what he said. I was so impatient, so simple. M answers. And to M he says, well, before that, well, where then is my faith in God? Persons came up to the cart with clubs in their hands. They looked like highwaymen. I began to chant the names of the gods. Sometimes I repeated the names of Rama and Durga, and sometimes Om Tat Sat, so that in case one failed, another would work. What a wonderful reminiscing about oneself, you
And
see.
he is God
Yes,
himself.
yes. What will happen to him? That God's incarnations, one beauty of incarnation is the God, but they are not always gods. They are human beings and again divine. That makes their life so beautiful and we can relate to them. Otherwise, if they had no trouble, no worries, no nothing of the worldly, nothing of our human thing, then they will be different class. We will not relate with them. So because they are that, that's why they become. They are just feel like this. You immediately relate to them. Yes, we also feel. Even Sri Ramakrishna could feel when you have that. Then you relate. Yes, that's not very abnormal in thinking of me. People are like that. Then you just connect with them and they lead you out. So that is the beauty of this incarnation of God. They sometimes behave like a human being, ordinary human being, and sometimes like the divine, very spiritually uplifted person. And that makes them incarnations of God in the human form, God in the human form. That's why Divine Mother said, no, be in bhava mukha, threshold. Threshold means sometimes you are divine, always connected with the ultimate reality, and sometimes you behave as a human being. Mother Kali said, after all this sadhana finished, then Divine Mother Kali said, remain in bhava mukha. Bhava mukha means threshold of the divine and the world. And that way you can connect with the people and it will be easy for them to find you as their guide. To M. Can you tell me why I am so impatient? M what replies? M. Your mind, sir, is always absorbed in samadhi. You have kept a fraction of it on your body for the welfare of the devotees. Therefore, you feel impatient now and then for your body's safety. How beautiful Yam had the insight about Sri Ramakrishna's life, his purpose of life, his what he has come. Yam has now fully understood. It's about 2 years only he has come. 1882, 83, 82, 84. He came on 26th February 1882, Yam's first visit. And now it is 24th February 1884. So just 2 years. But M was so wise and intelligent, so learned, and so deep thinking. He has now fully understood the purpose of Sri Ramakrishna, his divine life. All M has understood now. And he so beautifully says that it is for the purpose of keeping your mind and thought intact and for the service of others that you sometimes become impatient for the sake of your body so that it becomes helpful for us, for the devotees. Yam's answer was so beautiful, understanding, you see. That's why he could write everything of the gospel so in detail and in everything that came from Sri Ramakrishna's mouth for the posterity. He knew the purpose, the divinity, the power, everything he knew. Master, that is true. A little of the mind is attached to the body. It wants to enjoy the love of God and the company of the devotees. What beautiful. That was the little portion. At one place, Yam asked at another place, Sri Ramakrishna asked to Yam, do I have ego? Some Shankaracharya had the ego of knowledge, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had the ego of love of God. Do I have ego? Asked Yam to, asked Sri Ramakrishna to Yam. And Yam says, yes, you have kept the little ego to help the devotees, to serve, to guide to guide the devotees and humanity towards spiritual awareness, toward their good. Sri Ramakrishna said, no, I have not kept the ego. Divine Mother has kept that ego in me. The trace of ego is there, no doubt. Otherwise, you can do nothing. To do good, also you need ego of doing good. I want to do good. So, but I have not kept that. So much of surrender, you can you imagine? Full surrender. And Divine Mother has kept that little trace of ego in me for the sake of her word, for which she has brought me here as as a devotee of the Divine Mother. That's what she's saying. Moni Malik told the master about an exhibition that was being held in Calcutta. He described a beautiful image of Yashoda with the baby Krishna on her lap. Sri Ramakrishna's eyes filled with tears on hearing about Yashoda, the embodiment of maternal love. His spiritual consciousness was kindled and he wept. Explanation is Yams. You see how his spirituality was kindled. Sri Ramakrishna, he said, just said that beautiful picture of Yashoda having the Krishna, baby Krishna on her lap, like Melona with the child. It was so touchy for Sri Ramakrishna. Just immediately he went to spiritual height and he started shedding tears of love. And Yam describes that this story he could just visualize. He must have visualized that. How immediately he was talking about his arm and his stories, and immediately it went up in the thought of the divine, the Krishna. That's what happened when he saw Madonna with the child in Malik's house. And it became living, Jesus became living, Mother Mary became living, and that light from that came into his body, and he became unconscious of the world. So, like that, little of this story just saying someone just through, he's not seeing even, but he could visualize that, and he started shedding the tears of love. He himself said, when the mind is purified, it becomes like a dry matchstick. What does that mean? If the matchstick is wet, you rub on the box and it doesn't light because it is dampened with moisture. Like that, we want to meditate on God and we want to think of God. It is all dampened with worldliness. Worldly, so many necessities, desires, fears, greed, so many things are there. It's dampened. So you try to do it, it doesn't burn at all. You throw that, oh, today there was no good meditation. Tried to do japam, but there was no good meditation. Dampen. What happens to dry matchstick? Just one little rub, and it just comes into flame. So if that is the condition of pure-hearted person. Sri Ramakrishna's example is this dry matchstick, and it was. We find that how his mind was Munidal. If you were not unwell, you could visit the exhibition in the Maidan. And you see that Sri Ramakrishna was so great spiritual teacher. Much more above all Mani Malik or other people. But everyone thought him to be like their friend because they went and enjoyed. They want Sri Ramakrishna also to go to this exhibition and enjoy that. Someone said, let us go to circus. Someone said, let us go to zoo. Someone who said, let us go to Asiatic Society. And Sri Ramakrishna said, okay, let us go. And he goes with everywhere to everyone. That was the beauty of Sri Ramakrishna mixing with others. He had, because of not having any ego and childlike nature, everyone wanted him to accompany them. And whatever they saw, nice thing, they thought of Sri Ramakrishna. Oh, Sri Ramakrishna would like it. Like that, it happens when you love someone. Don't we feel when we go somewhere? And I have seen people when they have come, their son is not there, and you get some nice thing there. Oh, can I take a little of this for my son there? They think of their son, their daughter. Like that happens to all these people grown up. Sri Ramakrishna just a priest in the temple, and they often visit him in the temple. But it was not just visit to a priest or to a spiritual person, to a guru, not like that. He becomes a part of their love of their heart, like their own children, like own their family members, and they go there and like the all things. If Sri Ramakrishna would be here, he would enjoy this picture. If Sri Ramakrishna would be there, he would like the zoo, like that thing they feel. So that was the people's love for Sri Ramakrishna. Sri Ramakrishna love, and this love thing, though it's not always reciprocated, that you love someone, that person will love you. Always it may not happen that way, but when it is tremendous love, like Sri Ramakrishna love for all, when he is sick and suffering lot from cancer, the pain of cancer, no painkiller that time, no painkiller, only you suffer and cancer suffering, and he goes on suffering, and towards the end, he says to him, if you all agree, I would like to leave this body. Just I think if I die, if I give up this body, all you will cry, and that makes me unhappy, and I have to think whether I should retain and suffer, or I should give up this body. If you would agree, I could give up this body. So that also he wants to take the permission of his devotees. Can you imagine? Can you imagine his love, the degree of his love and thought for his devotees who come to him? That is Sri Ramakrishna's love. When there is so much tremendous love for others, even if not fully reciprocated, if some portion is reciprocated, then it becomes like this Mani Lal who is saying, Mani Malik saying, oh, you could go there, I could take you to that. Every time they think of Sri Ramakrishna to go to some nice place, oh, Sri Ramakrishna would enjoy perhaps seeing the picture. Sri Ramakrishna's room had many pictures of gods and goddesses, and he used to worship every day and look and pranam every day, like that. And this was beautiful picture. Even Mani Malik was so much impressed with the. You must have seen very intently. It was not like seeing the exhibition. You see this, like that, and like that. One person said he went to Louvre Museum, and just a joke. And then after seeing all wonderful pictures and more artifacts and sculpture, he comes at the end, and then he finds some very ugly picture, grumpy man and very angry, like looking like no, there's no beauty in this painting. Then he goes to curator and complains, you have put so nice paintings and so beautiful artwork, why you have put such an ugly picture at the towards the end of this museum? Then the curator said, where did we put such ugly pictures? Louvre is world's topmost museum. Let me go and see what are you saying. So he came here, and he said, and he saw that what picture he was saying. And where is that picture? He said, this one. Oh, I'm sorry, that is not a picture, that is a mirror. So like that, people, whenever he saw that picture so nice, he's describing, he must have seen very intently the Yashoda's picture. It's not just a passing thing. Master to M and others. I shan't be able to see everything even if I go. That happened in zoo. Perhaps my eyes will fall on some certain thing and I shall become unconscious. Then I shall not be able to see the rest. I was taken to the, oh, he himself says, I was taken to the zoological garden. I went into samadhi at the sight of the lion. For the for for the carrier of the mother awakened in my mind the consciousness of the mother herself. In that state, who could see the other animals? I had to return home after seeing only the lion. Hence, Jadu Mallik's mother first suggested that I should go to the exhibition and then said I should not. Oh, Jadu Mallik's mother also said that she knew. And that he went to zoo himself and people wanted to see him. First the lion was there. Lion took him to Durga. Durga took the divine Samadhi gone. Then later bring him back home. And he himself knows this thing, that how we did and how his mind soared high just by seeing the lion. Like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was going through some village and he asked, what is the name of this village? Just they told the name of the village and he went into Samadhi. What is the name of the village has to do? Then people asked after he came with consciousness, oh, by hearing the name of the village, I knew from the earth from from this thing is to make some instrument for the temple of Radha Shyam. And the temple from the earth, then the temple, from temple to God, from God to Samadhi. Like that was the connection, always divinely connected. So little thing and it connects divine. So Sri Ramakrishna's mind was there. Seeing the lion, you think of Durga and the Mahamaya and the Brahman, like that it always used to be in that way, always flowing the mind that way. So he said that you could take me, but I may not be able to see that. Mani Malik, M writes about Mani Malik. Mani Malik, about 65 years old, had been a member of the Brahmo Samaj for many years, and Sri Ramakrishna gave him instruction that would agree with his mood. Master. Pandit Jayanarayan had very liberal views. I visited him once and liked his attitude. But this his sons wore high boots. He told me he intended to go to Benares and live there, and at last he carried out his intention. For later on he did live in Benares and die there. When one grows old, one should retire like Jayanarayan and devote oneself to the thought of God. What do you say, Munilal? True, sir. I don't relish the worries and troubles of the world. So Manilal was a Brahmo devotee. Brahmo said, don't go and visit some temples, and particularly the one whose life was centered in the worship of the Divine Mother, image worshipper. And Brahmo Samaj, if they had anything that they objected most, was image worship. The God should be worshipped as the formless reality. And here are all Brahmo Samaj devotees, Brahmo Samaj members that are thronging to Sri Ramakrishna. And they used to listen. What to say about others? Our Keshav Sen himself, how much he was devoted to Sri Ramakrishna and how much he changed his life. Towards the end of his life, he used to say, Mother, Mother. They never knew only Brahman. Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. That was their chant always. Brahman is the reality, nothing. They didn't accept even the Divine Mother. Only Brahman. What is Mother? Only Brahman. And those very people and the leader of them says, Mother, Mother. That was Sri Ramakrishna bringing the Shakti to everyone. Why to Keshav Sen, who was like his friend? His own Guru, Totapuri, who didn't accept any Maya or Mahamaya. And he also had to say that yes, when we are living in this world, Shakti, we are in the domain of Shakti, you have to accept that. And that also he learned from Sri Ramakrishna. After he learned that, then he left. He learned this after the 11th month of his stay. He didn't stay anywhere more than 3 days. Here he is going, staying on. What is the purpose? Sri Ramakrishna he found wonderful companion. He was doing good sadhana, but he had the stomach trouble. Eating the Bengal food was difficult for him. So, so water was maybe difficult and all that. But he went on staying exceptionally. For that was the purpose of the Divine Mother. He will have to learn. And he made him time 11 months after almost 1 year. After that, she showed her power. And he went to the temple and then he chanted the stotra and he accepted, yes, that is true. And then he went away from Dakshineswar enriched in the totality, in the power of the Divine Mother. So that is Sri Ramakrishna, who came to teach not only his disciples, but his gurus also. His teachers also learned a lot from Sri Ramakrishna. And here is Mani Mallik, who agrees to going to Benares to die. The Brahmo Samaj, what is Benares different, and what is Kolkata, this all the Brahman, it's Nityam, Jnanam, Anantam, Brahma, that is the thing, everything is Brahman. But he says, yeah, yes, sir, it is true that if one should give up everything, I don't like the worries of the world, I want to be free at the old age. He already 65. That was about the life expectancy that time. 60, 65 people used to just pass away. It's not like 80 years today. If we today, if we die in like 72, 75, oh, he died so young, still he was not that old. 75 years is quite old. But people say that way. No, never, never people are old to die. Even if they are 90, oh, he died 90. Yeah, he could have lived 10 more years like that. And some people were talking about how scientific discoveries are going on, by which the people say the human being can live 150 years. And there was so much glow in saying that people, human being, they have the certain things that they can make scientifically prove that people have life expectancy of 100 years. There are certain things that they need to do. So we can live for 150 years. But what after that? That was said to Nachiketa. You go and live in the world as long as you like. Nachiketa, the young boy, was so wise. You say, as long as I like. That means there is end to the life. I will live 5,000 years. After that, I will die. Finish or not. I want the immortality. I want never to die. Is there something, no death at all or not? Says Nachiketa, I want that knowledge. Then finally, Yama says, yes, you really don't die, and gives the knowledge of immortality of the soul. When you know about the soul, you become immortal. That is, the knowledge becomes experience of immortality. In case of this, knowledge becomes experience. In case of the Adhyatma Vidya. So that was there. It's 8:30 now. So it's so wonderful to be here and to wonderful audience. So I would like to take leave from the online audience of Toronto. And if the audience here, live audience here, have some questions to do, so we can take up some questions. Thank you very much, and to the Toronto devotees, Canada devotees. Thank you. Let me conclude with the closing chant. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu Jananim Saradam Devim Ramakrishnam Jagadgurum पादपद्मे तयो श्रित्वा प्रणमामि मुहुर्मुहुः. Thank you and good night to all people in Canada. So yours is